So let me actually break down this new concept for you guys. It looks fairly similar to some old Ezreal concepts. Specifically, it's literally like it's about 10 cards different from my current Nox Ezreal. No, it's a bit more than 10 cards. It's like 11 or 12 cards different from my Nox Ezreal. However, this is a deck that is going to be playing very differently. I suspect it might be better. It's a very it looks weird at first. Let me break down the idea basically. This deck is designed to be a flexible Ezreal / burn deck. It's combining effectively the best things about Ezreal with the best things about burn. And the idea is that depending on the matchup and depending on the hand state, we are going to decide whether we're going to try to level Ezreal up or play for just like the full straight burn to face condition. Right. Seems like Pet and Grenadier doesn't make a lot of sense. I thought we were running high value burn cards. Well, we are. We're curving a lot later. The early pressure is still nice. Like a normal burn deck is gonna run like 8 or 9 1-drops, and this deck is currently choosing to run 2. We'll see how it works. I mean, it's kind of like how a lot of slow play Shadow Isles, Freljord style like semi-tempo decks are still running Omen Hawk. It's kind of the same thing. It's like, it's true that you're playing slowly and you don't mind banking spell mana, but it's still like, you know, getting like a couple 1-drops is nice for your curve. It's not like you want to run 0 1-drops, I think. And I do think Pet should be actually pretty good average value here. Although obviously, I mean, we haven't drawn it on turn 1 in any game since we put it in. Yeah, keep Thermo Draven. Pretty easy. Thermo will counter Fleet Feather on turn 1, which is nice. What if you don't let the Ezreal level? Oh, to counter like Karma Ezreal? Yeah, that's something you can do. That's something that a lot of like the control decks do to try to beat that matchup. So I can Mystic Shot now. The one downside of Mystic Shot is, in theory, he could Radiant Strike here. If he did, I wouldn't really mind that, honestly. Okay, takes a Radiant Strike. So we can trade it for Thermo, which I think might be a necessary play if we expect him to have Senna. And I think that you're more likely to protect the Lucian there if you do have Senna. I'm pretty happy just trading Static for Thermo. Like, he's an aggressive deck, so I want to play defensive, right? And this is, again, like, this is the entire concept of mid-range, right? This is like, man, I guess I just have to let this through. I just don't have enough, I don't have a good enough discard target yet to really use one of those. Like, I can do it next turn because I'll have the axe. But I just would rather tank 4 than discard a potential value card.
God axes need victims.
He'll let this through. The scary thing is he could be on second Lucian. And if he's on second Lucian, I might just want to open Get Excited. I mean, he'll let this attack through kind of no matter what. Is he going to play a blocker on 4 that can actually stop my Draven from attacking? No. Can he really actually kill my Draven on 4? Can he punish this Get Excited, like open Get Excited in any way? I think the answer is no. Whereas he can punish open attack with Lucian. So I think I should just open Get Excited. Well, if I Get Excited, I want to discard the Axe. And that means if he does play a 4 health unit, Draven will be able to block. But what on 4 would that be? Barrier? Yeah, but I mean, barrier on Get Excited is not unique to this spot. He can always do that. Brightsteel Protected. Brightsteel's maybe enough. I don't know. I will say, like, if he does try to do like a weird block barrier, a Static Shock and repunish, which we'll have mana for, I don't know. Second Lucian is just, it's maybe a little too scary, but that's a close call. Kind of looks like an easy Chungus. Now, if we do want to save mana for double spells, we can't play Chungus here, and Chungus isn't really a great blocker into this. We also don't really need like new discard targets. So the question we have to ask ourselves is he running Bannerman? Probably yes. He's probably just like splashing Might and something. If he's running Bannerman, the Get Excited on the Brightsteel Protector is always going to be the same. I think I might just burn a mana and play Reactive. I don't want to play Trump. It's a bad blocker here, and we don't really have the ability to react to it. So keeping our mana up gives us Static Shock as well, which, you know, I mean, it's pretty common. They'll do single combat after the barrier here. So we can force the Senna to die with Static Shock. Question is, second target go Phaser, second target go Protector. We're pretty far off of the idea of trying to just go straight face at this point. Looks good. When will you get an OnlyFans so I can sing for you? I was thinking about making like an OnlyFans. It kind of seems like the cool thing to do these days.
You suck.
So, I mean, he has a semi-decent open attack, but not great.
We fight for those who cannot.
If I play Chump Womp, he can't attack with Garen anymore. Looks like we're leveling Ezreal. I can basically stop both attacks by playing Arachnoid Sentry, which is a bit more value. And again, Chump Womp doesn't really accomplish that much uniquely here. If I Arachnoid Sentry this, at 0 mana, he simply wouldn't be able to attack with Draven. Because of course, we could kill it with a block and either Thermo or Mystic. Why not just Thermo? You could take a Thermo there. It plays around like Barrier a little bit better. That could be like the safe play, I guess. I don't know. I'm mostly just kind of like thinking I can just outvalue no matter what. But yeah, without 1 damage pings in hand, we're a little vulnerable to Barrier. So taking that Thermo there could have been right, for sure. If, like, this play would have made more sense if we did have more like 1 damage pings in hand.
Your arrogance will prove
I'm pretty fine Dravening here. He should have a really hard time blocking this Draven. Like, even if he does have a free barrier, that could be hard. The preemptive Brightsteel obviously has the ability to block Draven. Or sorry, yeah, block Draven with the Garen. I mean, he basically can't afford to lose his Garen no matter what at this point. And he's using barriers just to stop me from attacking, unless his play is single combat. Single combat's pretty good, I mean, but we have the second kill for Thermo Beam after. He's tapped out for another barrier here, which I think has kind of a hard time changing too much of anything. And he's not on single combat. Wow. See, this is the one thing. Attacking with Draven is good all of a sudden, because he's tapped out for second barrier. And if he blocks with Garen, then we can Thermo and kill it, and trade up, because we're ahead on value resources. But if he has second single combat, he would be able to, in those actions, level the Garen, and basically just win the game on the spot. I think I'll just ignore the Garen for now. Just like get excited at the war chests like a normal human being. It's not bad. It's not really what he wants in this spot. I have no problem just taking the Thermo Beam here. Again, when you're at low card resources, like the scariest cards for him to have are big cards. Like the Radiant sort of counters my play, but I mean, I'm just happy that one of the 2 cards in his hand wasn't like, the way he wins the situation is having like Cithria formation or something like that, right? Like him having Radiant is great news for us. It's a sick top deck. Wow, that's a sick top deck for him too. So I want to stay flexible on mana. When he goes in for an attack, I have the ability to block. If I want to leave Get Excited open, the question is, do I want to leave Get Excited open? Because I want to like Blade's Edge and Double Axe, and you'll note if I use Double Axe, I'll have to discard something I don't want to discard. So that means I want to play Chump Wump for the Blade's Edge Double Axe counter to Garen. Now, the only problem with that is it taps out for Get Excited plus Blade's Edge, right? I don't have enough mana to do Get Excited plus Blade's Edge now. I don't think there's much that would force me to run these cards. Because his Garen is Ziarda too, so it's not like single combat will level it up, which is really important, right? And I'm pretty happy to just like trade down the board here. Is this too much of a commitment? It might be. Because it's like, I don't know. I mean, we sort of lose to just like a straight up single combat. But it's not like we're doing too much either. And I don't know if our top decks are really improving here. Yeah, it feels kind of bad. Single axe Chump Wump. Yeah, I think that's like a low commitment play that we can do. I think it's kind of the correct play here. It's like, I don't know. He's already used I think only one single combat. It's very easy for him to have a second one in this position. It's more likely his card is a barrier here. Actually, I don't know if this Nox version is going to be running a lot of barriers, so we'll see. But barrier is probably a bit more likely than second single combat in that position if he's running any at all. Or he's running repost. And repost does nothing on this board state. Tapping out for get excited doesn't really accomplish too much here. But yeah, I think it definitely was a big misplay, not thermoing the Gera the turn he came down, just because we didn't really have enough things for anything else. It's just like much safer to do that. So yeah, that was definitely wrong. It puts us in like much more of a losable situation, I guess.
Do this.
Fear is the first of many foes.
This is kind of interesting. That makes his card a barrier, which makes us good. Or something weird like third single combat. Okay. Yeah, that works for me.
Justice!
So we good. Is that Karen's good that he just used?
No cheers. You follow.
Yeah, he just used Garen's judgment. That's gotta feel bad. So yeah, I don't know. We're stable. However, that deck does have some kind of like scary top decks. We win the value game at this point. It's really important to think about card advantage like a second primary resource. The way I worded that sentence probably sounded like nonsensical. I don't really care if his card is barrier. But basically, I think like the common new player perspective is that Nexus Health is kind of like the main resource. And the idea is you should be looking at the game in that your two resources are Nexus Health and cards in hand. And in reality, running out of either are pretty equally viable lose conditions, if that makes sense. You can draw some big units. God, it's actually safer to just not play anything here, I guess. Yeah, these are sick draws, dude. Vanguard, Redeemer, Lancer. This guy's definitely in this game again, for sure. But yeah, basically the idea is like when you're out of cards, you lose pretty much just as easily as when you're out of like Nexus Health, right? It's kind of the same thing. You need both. So playing a control deck means instead of trying to kill your opponent's Nexus Health, you just outlast them on cards. You're not playing the Nexus Health game, you're playing the card game. And this is a mid-range deck, which means we play the aggressor in some matchups and the controller in other matchups. That's the idea, anyway. Kind of about time for this Ezreal to show up, huh? I might just rummage away the rookie and the cask salesman. I really want some like good value tools right now, or like at least removal. Boom Crew sucks here. It's really, really awkward. Cask salesman shuts down an attack. I don't think it's good enough. This is kind of an aggressive play, but I mean, if I find Ezreal, I should just win. Like, it's kind of hard to beat this.
They don't know what they're up against. Don't blink or you'll miss me.
I mean, he needs to have drawn like third single combat or something ridiculous like that. His only good block on this board is Lancer into Boom Crew, and he can't do that because the Mystic Shot we're getting out of Ezreal would kill his only way of killing my Ezreal. He needs to protect the Lancer so he can kill my Ezreal next turn. Is kind of the only thing he can really hope to do. I think I would want here. Third single combat, yeah, that is something that could definitely be a little spooky there. Third single combat for sure. So the question is, could it possibly make sense to not go face here? I think the answer is no. Like, hitting this only makes sense if we're about to top deck another way of dealing damage, that being like Static Shock or Blade's Edge. And if we're gonna top deck another way of dealing damage, we just want both of our damage sources to just smack Dome, really. So there's this very cute, wait, did they fix the bug? Hang on. There is, safe to say, a bug. It's a little interface snafu where you can queue up a spell and that allows you to rummage for less than your full hand, basically. And with that, we can do a play like this, where it's like, this Mystic Shot was in our hand, but we were able to rummage for more. And now third single combat doesn't even save him because we have the rookie for the over the top next turn. So yeah, that's the idea behind this deck. It's just a mid-range deck in every way. It's like, it's mid-range burn effectively. It plays for a very flexible game plan, and I think that's really important. It means against aggressive decks we can play defensively, and against defensive decks we can play, depending on our hand, sometimes very offensively.